Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who ratings analysis video. Now in this video I'm going to be taking a look once again at the Series 14, Season 40, Series 1 Ncuti Gatwa series of Doctor Who, the overnight and +7 ratings, but I'm going to be comparing it to what the BBC showed in the same time slots the previous year. So Doctor Who returned in May of 2024, so we're going to see what other Saturday night television shows shown in the same time, May into June of 2023, how they performed in the ratings when it came to overnight and 7-day numbers. So let's have a look. Of course, we've had a look at our Series 14 ratings, both overnight and +7-day. Everything from Space Babies through to Empire of Death. So if you've not seen those videos where we dive into those a little bit more, feel free to go back and have a look. But today we're going to look at BBC One shows in 2023. So we're going to follow the same pattern. So 7 weeks of television on BBC One around about the same time slot, around about the same 7 p.m. time slot for BBC One on Saturdays in 2023. Now we begin, as Doctor Who did, with the prelude to the Eurovision Song Contest. That meant a special edition of the Hit List, a music-related game quiz show, and that achieved an overnight figure of 2.62 million viewers. Immediately after that was a special edition of the One Show with Alex Jones and Rylan. That got 3.56 million viewers overnight. Those are the numbers of people that watched it live as it was being broadcast on BBC One. Now following that, we fall into a series of repeats. So these are shows that have been previously broadcast on BBC One and are just getting a repeat showing basically to fill the time slot on a Saturday evening. So the Hit List and the One Show Eurovision specials are the only brand new episodes, programmes being shown on BBC One in this same period of 2023. So Blankety Blank Series 1 Episode 6 was broadcast on the 20th of May, again around about 7 p.m, and that got 2.44 million. Following week, Series 1 Episode 7, 1.99 million. And then the week after that, we jump to Series 2 Episode 3 of Blankety Blank for 2.27 million. For clarification, this is the newer version of the BBC One show with Bradley Walsh as the host and not anything further back into the mists of time. You might have to look on BBC 4 for those. After 3 episodes of Blankety Blank, we then went into repeats of Michael McIntyre's The Wheel. So Series 3 Episode 3 was shown on the 10th of June, and that got 2.3 million viewers. Following that, Series 3 Episode 4 got 2.18 million, and Series 3 Episode 5 got 1.98 million. So those are all the figures for the number of people that watched. These programmes go out as live on BBC One around about the same time slot as Doctor Who filled in 2024. Now when we move to +7 days, we only have a limited amount of data on this. You'll soon see why. So the Hit List Eurovision Special added a little more, about 0.16 million, so about 100,000 viewers, and got 2.78 million on the +7 day. The One Show Eurovision Special similarly climbed to 3.60 million. So about 40,000 people watched that at some point over 7 days following initial broadcast. Blankety Blank got 2.52 million over 7 days, so slight uplift again. About 80,000 viewers watched it after the event, and then we hit a bit of a buffer. So the next 2 episodes of Blankety Blank didn't rank in the +7 day chart, so that's the top 50 programs on +7 days. So we then leap to Michael McIntyre's The Wheel, which got 2.45 million, so about 120,000 viewers watching on iPlayer and catch-up services, and then 2.25 million for Series 3, Episode 4. Yeah, again, slight increase, but a very minimal increase from our overnight to plus 7 days for these types of programs. Why is this relevant? Well, as you'll see from this graphic, you can see the difference it makes when you compare it to Doctor Who. So our blue line is our overnight rating, and our orange line is our plus 7 day rating, and you can see how the change for our BBC One programs in 2023 is fairly negligible, minor increases. For Doctor Who, Series 14, on the other hand, there's a massive gap. So again, big, not just post-transmission catch-up viewership, we're also got to remember our pre-transmission numbers as well are included in this figure. So our pre and post-transmission over 7 days for Space Babies through to Empire of Death is far more significant than what our BBC One shows in 2023 managed to achieve. So you can see why our plus 7 day number is more widely reported, should we say, because it very much dwarfs what BBC One was achieving on Saturday nights in 2023. Again, bear in mind though that only the 2 Eurovision specials were new programming. The rest, the other 6 episodes, 3 Blankety Blanks, 3 Michael McIntyre's The Wheel, were all repeats. So again, a good number of people are watching those sorts of things as live, and some of those overnights are beating Doctor Who's overnight. So if you look, Blankety Blank Series 2 Episode 3, Michael McIntyre's The Wheel on the 10th of June and the 17th of June, beating Boom, Dot and Bubble, Rogue, Legend of Ruby Sunday on overnights, and even series finale Empire of Death at 2.25 million on overnight was beaten by a repeat of Blankety Blank on the 3rd of June and Michael McIntyre's The Wheel on the 10th of June. So again, you can see how overnights are comparable, but some of them are slightly below par for Doctor Who when compared to these repeats of game shows from 2023. But once again, to reiterate, that big jump in plus 7 day numbers that Doctor Who is able to achieve when compared to even the 2 Eurovision specials that were brand new programming. Okay, as we always like to do on this channel, we don't just look at those raw numbers, we also look at the overnight share, and you can see again how these are fairly comparable. So those Eurovision specials for the Hit List and the One Show got 24.3% and 29.4%. So of all the available audience, just under 30% were watching the One Show Eurovision special, which acted as a prelude to the Eurovision Song Contest, which in 2023 was of course live from Liverpool in the UK. So a lot of promotion for that. And you can see how we have again relatively comparable numbers for our repeats of Saturday night game shows. So we're in low 20s and 1 high teens. Similar position for Doctor Who, low 20s, high teens, and then Legend of Ruby Sunday is lowest of them all at 16.2%. So when we compare the two, our BBC One shows in 2023, the high is higher at 29.4%, which even Space Babies, the opening episode of Series 14, couldn't match. And our low isn't quite so low, 18.4%. So Doctor Who, the high isn't as high and the low is lower when it comes to our overnight share. In the previous video, I talked about this new chart that I haven't mentioned previously. So when finding our overnight numbers, I came across a top 100 network overnight chart. So our network channels are our classical sort of terrestrial channels, to use an old expression, but BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, Channel 4, those channels, the top 100 overnight numbers, and these are their chart rankings for these shows. So that One Show Eurovision special hit 7th in that chart for overnight. But when we get to our repeat season, we're in, 60, 55, 48, and then 37 and 39. Again, fairly comparable to what Doctor Who Series 14 managed to achieve on the same chart in 2024. Moving on, we have our +7 chart. Now, of course, we only have data for 5 of our BBC shows in 2023, and even Michael McIntyre's The Wheel from the 17th of June only just made the chart at 50th, so at least we had that data point as well. So we've got a 38, a 22, again following the trend that we've seen so far. That one show Eurovision special, more watched than the hit list Eurovision special, and then we're back down into the 40s and a 50 for that repeat season of game shows. Doctor Who, on the other hand, was relatively consistent by comparison. So we're, a high of 9 and 10 for our opening 2 episodes, dropping to a low of 25. But again, this correlates with the fact that we're seeing big uplift in the Doctor Who numbers from overnight to +7 day when compared to these BBC One shows from 2023. As we always do, we try and average everything out and compare directly. So our overnight rating for our BBC One shows in 2023 was 2.42 million. So our overnight rating of 2.42 million goes up against 2.27 million for Doctor Who. So our overnight rating for Series 14 is slightly down. But how does the share look for the BBC One shows in 2023? 23.4%. compared to 21.2%. So again, on overnight numbers, it does suggest a downward trend from 2024 when compared to 2023. Our overnight chart then, 38th, plays 38th. So again, averages out identical. So Doctor Who Series 14 compared to our top 100 overnight chart for those BBC One shows in 2023 is identical. So in that respect, no change at all. +7 days though, 2.72 for BBC One shows in 2023 compared to 3.71 million. So just under 1 million extra viewers on +7 day on average watching Doctor Who when compared to what the BBC offered in 2023. And again, our chart position, 40th for the BBC One shows, that the data that we did have. Obviously, if we compared all 7 weeks, we were lower than 40th because several didn't chart at all. So we were below 50th. When compared to 17th for Series 14 of Doctor Who. So again, our +7 day ratings for Doctor Who significantly more than BBC One shows in 2023. Even if our overnight numbers are slightly down, the +7 ratings show a definite improvement when showing brand new Doctor Who compared to what the BBC had to offer for Eurovision night in 2023 and then the following 6 weeks of game show repeats. Thank you for watching. I hope you found that interesting. It's certainly interesting to go back and have a look at all these numbers from 2023, and I think it certainly contextualizes a bit more the relative success of Doctor Who when compared to what the BBC had to offer in 2023. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.